What do you want? Do I know you? Really? Lots of people know me, so what? I'm a little busy right now. I've got a bowl of wine that needs drinking, so why don't you just find someone else to bother? What slave traders would that be? I've never heard of anybody trading slaves around here. Who? I don't know anybody by that name, and I don't know anything about slave traders. Leave me alone. I have nothing to say to you, so why don't you just keep moving? Yes, that is. More than I'd see in a month. I might be able to take you there. You'll have to pay me now, and I'm not promising you won't get killed once we get there. It's your life, friend. No refunds either. Follow me.
Zibao, what is the meaning of this? Summoning me to this place was bad enough. You know I can't stand the stench of these beasts. I've already dealt with the last shipment of slaves, and with that damned prefect poking into our affairs, we have to be extra cautious. Now, there's an unknown quantity in this little meeting. Just who are you? In the slave market, are you? Funny how I find that a bit suspicious, especially given that we've had run-ins with several of Prefect Shitong's investigators. Zibao was a fool to bring anyone here. We can't afford anyone nosing into our affairs right now, and you've heard too much. Get him, boys, but don't kill him. We'll get quite a bit of silver for this one.
Stab! White demon! I am healed. I am healed.
This has gone far enough. You're far better than the last dog who dared cross us. Maybe I was hasty in my decision to attack you. I have an eye for raw talent. That helps when picking slaves, but it comes in handy in sizing up potential allies. Who are you? And why are you here? You're clearly too skilled to be one of the fools hired by Prefect Shitong. So what business or grudge do you have with us? You are with Shitong. Unless he was dipped in silver recently, there's no way he could afford a warrior of your skill. Not on government pay. You're better than that. You've just shown me your strength. Any poor wretch who had the discipline to fight like you wouldn't let themselves be enslaved. Someone like you deserves to work with me, not oppose me. I have a friend who could use your help, and I'm prepared to pay for it. If only I had a silver coin for every time I've heard that. Come then, let's end it.
I am healed. Return to the heavens! I am...
There you are. The governor sent Ho Chong, one of his lapdogs, to oversee the trial. I hope you learned something, or I'll have to proceed with Song Tao's sentencing. He took you there? That's incredible. That's remarkable. Well, what did you find? Have you discovered evidence that exonerates Scholar Song Tao?
Ha! That doesn't prove a thing. Pieces of paper can be bought and sold just like anything. Just like anyone.
I'm afraid you're quite mistaken, Chandlerling. This proves a great many things, including your guilt. I never suspected the slavers were so well connected.
Let me see that. Well, this certainly looks interesting. Suppose Scholar Sung Tao can go free then. And you, Chandler Ling, will come with me for sentencing. It will be quick and harsh, I suspect. This sort of thing will not be tolerated in the Empire.
It's all a lie. You don't know what you're doing. You're all making a very big mistake.
Thank you. Thank you for risking yourself to help me. If there's anything I can do to repay you, please ask. You are too kind. I have no real way to repay you. However, I do have some items you might be interested in. They're not here, of course. Come and find me in the Scholar's Garden, and I will be glad to show you what I have. I'll see you there. Goodbye, and thank you again.
That was very noble of you. I've never known anyone else who would risk so much to help a complete stranger. You surprised even me.
I want to hear that. What? I rushed out notification of this match, and we've had the outcriers shouting themselves hoarse. I hear many nobles will even be in attendance. It's rare that the Silver Division rests balanced against a single victory on the scales of combat, you know. That's nothing compared to the skills of Silver Phoenix, who has soared so high so quickly. Words like those spread like raging flames. Will you face Soldier now? The Silver Division Championship awaits you. Excellent. Follow me and we'll get you ready for your next match.
Can Silver Phoenix take the Silver Division? Iron Soldier will not fall easily.
soldier is a worthy opponent. I hope you understand how many warriors have tried to extrapolate him from the Silver Division Championship. Be proud! From here, your battles will be even harder. A test, if you will, to see if you stand a chance against the Ravager. Impress the crowd, and you will have your chance against the Ravager himself. I can promise you that. Surely this was enough. I know the crowd loved that show, but there's no way I can offer you extra just because of that. All your fights are impressive. I know you feel like a rising star, but your rewards are fixed. You'll find that the Gold Division battles sate your purse's hunger. Now that that's settled, what else can I do for you? The Gold Division is the toughest series of fights in the Empire. Ultimately, you can think of it as a test to see if you're ready to face the Ravager. Your first match will be a rare challenge. There is a style that was banned from the tournament combat 5 centuries ago. You will face the Phoenix Unity style. That is something best discovered for yourself. Suffice it to say that if you stand against it, the battle will be memorable. I do not believe in outdated prohabitations. As you may see, this style is not fair for single combat, but it is a fair test of a master warrior's abilities. Excellent. Follow me and we'll get you ready for your next match.
The Phoenix Unity is among the rarest of styles. No one person has defeated it. Yet.
I am healed. Your time has come.
Legends say that the Phoenix Unity style was banned from tournaments because it was unbeatable, but I've never put much stock in legends. That was exactly how I wanted your Gold Division matches to start. You need the people on your side before you can face the Ravager. I was going to do something different, but I've had a request from the Sung Brothers. They said that there's been an affluence of the fates and a reemergence of the planets. I'm not quite sure what that means, but if they want to face you, then I have to honor their request. Besides, defeating them is important to your career. I require that any fighter who wishes to face the Ravager be able to defeat all three of the Sung Brothers. Then I know you won't be torn to shreds. Well, at least not before the gong stops ringing, at any rate. The brothers are ready if you are. If that's the thing.
Your victories are impossible for the other fighters to ignore. You are a master of the arena, the ground where executioners are born. Perhaps you have potential that you are not even aware of. There may be a role in the executioners for you after all. Why come to me when you've already begun to court the Inquisitor? Do you seek the blessing of someone less corrupted? No, you are stronger than that. We will train away this timid front and tap a potential that you haven't yet dreamed of. If you survive, you will join an order unlike any other. We enforce the will of Death's Hand and the Emperor. We guard the treasures of the Empire. This will be your responsibility. Can you look on silver coins, golden tablets, or prophesized artifacts and think only of duty? Then we will waste no more time. You are adequate, and I will allow you to begin training. Proceed to our fortress. It lies at the far side of the burial ground that is the necropolis, which you may reach through the rich section of the city. Present this token so that they will know you. I expect great things of you. Not many of our recruits possess both the skills to become executioners and the personality to attract such a loyal band of followers. Indeed. Many others think that they are above the norm when they join us, as if acceptance elevates their status. You will learn that conformity to our ways will serve you better. I am well aware of those who come with you, their strengths and their weaknesses. You inspire loyalty in most of those who follow you. That will serve you well. Am I? Or do you doubt your own abilities to deal with them if proven treacherous? In time, you will see that your loyalty to our order is all that matters. If you survive your training and remain in control of your senses, perhaps you will serve at my side one day.
Success, after a fashion. We should go inform the others after we leave the arena.
Wuwuwir wakwakir fonir sisa ukopkipo kusu. Yawadir wuswaya susu. Utarawi ir kupkitir sanir naurkut.
Come to kick this tired old dog? Careful, boy. This mongrel's still got all his teeth. Don't think I'm going to forget that you were the one to take my division from me. You're even and level-headed, which means you won't watch your back. You'll never last. Do you actually need anything, or are you just there to flap your gums? Ask me? Why ever would the vaunted Silver Division champion speak to one of his inferiors? No, I'll not sit here and listen to your taunts, and I certainly don't feel like talking about this place, or my past, or whatever fool thing you want. Why are you wasting time with me anyway? Shouldn't you be taunting your next victim?
I watched your last match! Don't let their mysticism fool you. The Sung brothers are very skilled. You'll be facing them next from what I hear. This is about your friend and the Serpent, right? It would probably be better to ask some of the higher division fighters. I didn't hear much about it. I do remember Raging Ox. He was always full of life and he had fun in the ring. He was a much better champion than the Ravager. Right you are.
Look who stands before us, brothers. Our honored opponent. How you must feel knowing you are to face us next.
Your expansive friend returns on a dark fall of the cards, I'm afraid. His story, like all stories where brothers fall out, is not lightly told.
The Black Whirlwind and Raging Ox had a confrontation. No one really knows what happened, but suffice it to say Ox remained here. Raging Ox continued to rise through the ranks to become champion, while your friend left his brother and the arena behind. Perhaps you should ask the Black Whirlwind yourself. Has there not already been a reaction of sorts? Kylon likely wants nothing more than his ex-star fighter to leave this place. Of course, that means he wants the same of you. The Black Whirlwind was never one to follow rules, and Kylon is one who demands that his rules be followed.
I would not end this conversation immediately, Brother Bo. Not just before facing this one in the ring. Our last words echo the rhythmic structure of Lord Chu Young's unsuccessful plea for mercy before his beheading.
Brother Sui has an ear for these things and a knowledge of history, you understand. So I wish you a fond goodbye and a distinguished farewell.
Very tricky. Breaking your sentence's rhythm with an extra well-wishing comment, brother. Skillfully done.
I want to hear that.
Speed, might, and magic will be needed to defeat these brothers three.
3 opponents at once, all of them exceptionally skilled. I thought no one could impasse them, but you have. Defeating their combinated might has impressed the crowd immensely. You pull in the egregious crowds, it's true, but I can't just break the rules and give you extra silver. I am still accountable for my prizes. The winnings at this level are more than generous enough. Now that that's settled, what else can I do for you? I want to give you a shot at the championship. I really do. I need to convince others, though. I'm going to hold an event so huge that it will rock the reaches of the Empire. The Imperial engagement. The arena turns upon you. You will be a man alone against a rushing wave of opponents, great and small. You must stand against them all, and when you do, your right to challenge the Ravager will be indisputable.
Time to take you down a peg.
I think it's going to be a fun challenge. You might even survive if you pace yourself.
The concept is simple enough. If you can defeat your foe with exceptious alacrity, then you have a moment to collect yourself. If you tarry, then you will be swamped. You will be facing all the champions you have dealt with already, and more. You will be the first. As I said, I need you to have the crowd's heart. Kailan does not want you to face the Ravager. I do. Are you ready for me to finish the arrangements? If so, we'll get everyone set up. If that's the decision you want to make, it's your profanation. You just let me know when you've changed your mind. I want to hear. Excellent.
The Imperial engagement begins! An ogre begins the onslaught!
I am healed.
Hapless Hand enters the fray!
I am healed.
What is the greater foe? Exhaustion or a fiend fallen from the heavens?
Your end is near. I am healed.
Iron Soldier makes another foray against his nemesis.
Your time has. I am healed.
How long can one warrior last, battling a tide of foes?
White demon. White demon.
For this battle, Sung Bu enters alone. His speed is unmatched. The towering strength of Sung Bu crashes upon the ring! The imperial engagement begins! An ogre begins the onslaught!
I am healed.
Hapless Hand enters the fray!
I am healed.
What is the greater foe? Exhaustion or a fiend fallen from the heavens?
Return to heaven! I am healed.
Iron Soldier makes another foray against his nemesis. How long can one warrior last, battling a tide of foes?
I am healed.
For this battle, Sung Bu enters alone. His speed is unmatched. The towering strength of Sung Bu crashes upon the ring.
Your time has come. I am healed.
The Master of Mysticism is the last to enter this epic confrontation.
You have just emerged the victor from a multitudinous concretion of raw fighting talent. Amazing! The crowd loves you, and you have proven yourself enough in my eyes. No other fighter stands a chance against the Ravager. But you must think of your safety. The Ravager strikes with such power that even the wards of this arena may not be enough to save you. No one knows. His strength is almost inhuman, but we are sure he is no demon. Your match could end in death. It almost happened when Sung Bu faced him alone, and he was the last opponent to tackle the champion alone. The Ravager grows more fierce with each fight, as if time were making him stronger. If you face him, we may not be able to end the match in time. It is that time. The Ravager awaits. Do you remember what I told you about fighting him? Can I assist you? Things...
Looks like you're still walking after that last match. Too bad. A big Gold Division win for you. Go on and keep climbing the ranks. If you get high enough, you might just break your neck when you fall. Why are you wasting time?
I watched your last match. You're supposed to have a shot at the Ravager next. You're the only one in recent memory who would stand a chance against that monster. Good luck. Right.
Look who stands before us, brothers. Either you are extremely brave, or very foolish to face the Ravager. Either way, we wish you luck. Oh yeah.
You know, the he... Excellent. Follow me and...
This fight will not happen. This fighter is not worthy of facing a true imperial champion. The Ravager will not waste time with one so new to the ring. One must face the test of time to even challenge the imperial champion. Good people, I do this for you. Would you have an unproven whelp as your champion? As the Empire's champion? Silence! You have spoken, and I have heard. Your will be done. I give you the Ravager!
White Demon, Toad Demon form.
If you have even the tiniest bit of sense, Whirlwind, you'll realize that you should thank me.
What have you done to my brother?
Your brother was a useful tool. After you cut him down while he defended me, I decided it would be too much bother to let him go. In the process, I saved you from charges of fratricide. And so the Ravager was born. The perfect, unquestioning enforcer of my will, and I owe it all to you, Whirlwind.
I should kill you here and now, but first...
Have done nothing. I still took your brother.
And I took him back and repaid the favor.
You will not be champion. This is my arena. I invoke the right of challenge. As an ex-champion, I will return and stake my claim upon this place. Tradition supports my right to this.
But the right of challenge hasn't been used in hundreds of years.
Very well. You need not accept the precedents and traditions that make this empire great, Kui. Instead, accept that my men will kill you if you dare contradict me again. So, stripling, what do you say? Are you prepared to suffer at my hands, or will you walk away and die the tenfold deaths of the coward?
No, you are not the current champion, Serpent. My brother was, and now my friend is. All you are, magician, is mine! Allow me to accept his challenge on your behalf, Master. I will not fail you, and I know my brother's spirit will be satisfied if I take this chance.
Never. I will not allow a substitution of this sort.
They do have the right, Serpent. You substituted the demon in place of one of your guild men. You set the precedent yourself.
Damn you all. Fine. I will fight the shaved bear. It will be a pleasure. Speak with Kui when you're ready. Until then, I will prepare.
This has all gone horribly wrong. I have had a dead retired ex-fighter in a mask for a champion all this time. Do you know how many rules and regulations that breaks? It's a mockery of the entire arena, and Kai Lan and his thugs are to blame. But you can stop him. I need you to see this through to the end. I need that man stopped before he destroys 1,000 years of gratification. Things are interesting right now. Be as careful walking the streets as you are in the ring. I don't think Kai Lan is pleased with your progress. I want to hear that your friend is ready to fight. When he was here before, he was always ready. Tell him to be careful. Kai Lan is not easily defeated. Are you ready to get started? Excellent. Follow me and we'll get you ready for your next match.
The Black Whirlwind returns to the ring to face the Serpent! Might meets magic!
Well, I know it's anticlimactic, but you did earn it. Congratulations, champion. I wish that I had another dozen fighters who could rise through the ranks with your alacrity. I will not dishonor you with appearing to those who cannot match your skill. In time, someone will come along, but I suspect your equal will not be manifesting any time soon. Champion, it has been an honor to adjudicate and facilitate your rise to the top. Should anyone appear to challenge you, I will let you know. But until then, rest yourself. You've earned it.
It would be hard to find anyone in this city who does not recognize our new champion on this day. We have met before, but right now, I represent the guild. I want what you want. We had to address the issue of Kai Lan sooner or later. His open policy did not fit well with our philosophy of discretion. His power ran deep. He would have taken our organization even further down Gao the Greater's path had word of a new contestant not reached us. Every action benefits someone other than yourself. If you worry about whom, then you fall into inactivity. Not speaking to me could aid them as easily. All waters flow to the ocean, they say. There are those who think and those who do. The best know that there is a time and place for both, and that this city will eat the introspective alive. It is advice we all need. Indeed. Then you will be happy to know of the Guild's decision. We no longer want a stake in the proceedings in the arena. With Kai Lan and Gao the Greater gone, let us just say that cooler heads prevail. The current sentiment in the Guild is that the Lotus Assassins have become more trouble than our alliance with them is worth. Thus, we propose a truce. Your feud, or whatever it was, with Kai Lan died with him. The Guild will not trouble you or this place if you will not trouble us. Our business is concluded. If you will excuse a moment's adoration, it was an honor to meet you. In observing Kai Lan, I had no choice but to watch the fights of Silver Phoenix. It was the most enjoyable aspect of the assignment. Your skills are amazing. We will not speak of this again. Consider me nothing more than Sweet Poison Lin from this point on.
Champion, it has been an honor to adjudicate and facilitate your rise to the top. Should anyone appear to challenge you, I will let you know. But until then, rest yourself. You've earned it.
Nara ir uk napir sonkut usat.
Not much to do at the top, is there, champion? No. Your skills would just waste away with no challenges. I wonder if it'll be me, the Sung brothers, or some other upstart who brings you down.
I knew you could do it! Congratulations, champion.
You have our collective congratulations, champion. You have done great things in this place.
I don't want to talk to you. You're the reason Kai Lan is dead. I had a good thing going with the Serpent. He paid a handsome fee, but he never trusted me enough to make use of my services. Now that's all gone. Thanks a lot.
Wow, the Imperial Champion. Hey, it's a real honor to have you come up here, but, you're gonna have to back up, please. Nothing personal, but we work for Fang, and he doesn't want anyone blocking his view. He comes to watch the fights, not talk to the fighters. I guess he figures the more he talks to you, the less time you have to inflict horrible, bloody carnage on someone in the ring. Forget it. I won't go into details about what Fang did to the last guard he caught taking bribes, but restraints, starving dogs, and gravy on certain parts of the body were involved. Fang watched the whole thing, laughing all the while, and when it was done, he went upstairs with Breezes for a little relaxation. Poor girl. I wouldn't call him sick. I never... but he paid...
I'm not really in the mood for Get rid of him? What do you mean? Remove him from office, or something else? Really? I was hoping you wanted to kill him. The world would be a better place with that disgusting pig dead and buried. But as much as I want to see his bloated corpse floating in the gutter, Fang is a dangerous man, and he keeps my pockets lined with silver. I hope Fang gets what he deserves. No. Even if I was willing to give up all that silver, if Fang finds out, he'll make sure I spend the rest of my days begging for death. Wow. That is a lot of silver. And I'd love to get out from under Fang's boot heel. I'll help you. You wanted Fang dead, right?
It sounds like he deserves death, but I don't know if the Inquisitors would agree.
It'd be easier to kill him. Fang's reputation is already as dirty as it can get. As long as it doesn't get in the way of his job, everybody just turns a blind eye. Well, every document Judge Fang approves has to be stamped with his imperial ring. Losing the ring is a major offense. And if it was revealed he lost the ring during one of his sexual escapades, even Fang wouldn't want that to come out.
What are you doing here, Breezes? You know I don't like it when people see us together in public.
Don't be mad, my mighty and manly Fang. I was just hoping we could go upstairs for a bit. I've got a treat for you. Here's a hint. They're silk.
I'm surprised you're so eager after last night. I'm glad to see you're finally becoming more receptive to my special needs. Well done, Breezes. If a little tame for my tastes. I think tonight you should wear the blindfold. I have some interesting surprises in store for you.
I can hardly wait, oh great and virile Fang. Here's the ring. Fang will do anything to keep people from finding out he lost it to a whore, even if it means resigning his post. Show the ring to his guards and they'll let you through. I better disappear for a while, but make sure you tell him where you got it. He'll be sorry he ever touched me.
Look, we already told you, Fang doesn't want to be... Yeah, if he doesn't get his daily fill of blood, violence... How did you get... You better go talk to Fang about that ring. Yeah, we don't want any part of this.
Some of these new fights can be delightful. Damn it! I want more blood down there! Do you mind? How can I enjoy the crack of bone, the screams of pain, and the glorious geysers of crimson blood down in the arena with you bothering me? Or are you here to offer me your services for later? I generally prefer women, but I might branch out if a handsome man like you is willing to beg. Is that so? Let me guess. Some sense of moral outrage at my perversions, no doubt. Well, my tastes are already well known at the imperial court. Nobody cares about my predilections, as long as I don't let my activities interfere with my duties as a judge. My ring? But how... That harlot. I should have suspected something when she came to me willingly. Usually I have to command her presence. Well, it seems you have me in an awkward position. I can't let it be known that I was foolish enough to let a whore steal my ring. I would lose my position. So, what is it you want from me? Silver? An imperial posting? What? Of course. Now I understand. The Lotus Assassins are behind this, aren't they? I should have known something like this would happen. They tried to bend me to their will, but I'm not easily broken. Or so I thought. Are you proud of yourself? Bowing and scraping at the feet of your Lotus Assassin masters, helping them to bring me down? You think I'm an evil man, don't you? You think my soul is rotten and corrupt. But at least I have a soul. The same cannot be said for those you now serve. The Lotus Assassins destroyed me. But now that I am gone, I wonder where their attention will turn next. Keep a close watch over your shoulder, friend. My resignation is on the table. Take it and stamp it with my imperial ring yourself.
Sa'ir Yagawak, Kokonato Siri Panoniniku. Sairos Tiusiot, Saroras. Uno will na no ba irsu. Isana yuyo, Konir Puk no Sunkud na no one Napir. Ipaner Nuku Iwa Ir, Nikasanarir, Iruru Ninua Sa'ir Kana. Usair Kokonato, Tanatir. Katana no Shafatoyo, Kokonato Siri Panoniniku. Sata Tawi ir Wanawa Vulkuno Sukudnia Awafawa ir Sutok. Sata Tawi ir Wanawa Vulkuno Sukudnia Awafawa ir Usair Kokonato, Tanatir, Katana no Shafatoyo. Nikasurir Kwanano Koni Ugnawata Ir Niknipier Irkana Nikasurir Kwanano.
So, things are looking up. You've gained the favor of the Lotus Assassins. And you've made doubly certain of it by aiding both the Executioner and Inquisitor. Very impressive. The way to the Lotus Assassin Fortress is open.
And after we find the evidence against Death's hand, you will take us to the palace to find Master Li?
I promise, little Dawnstar. After we get what I want from the Lotus Assassins, the palace is the first place we will go. You have permission, so there won't be any trouble entering. It's only after we have the evidence against Death's Hand that they might notice something is wrong.
It would still be good to get some information first. Sagacious Zoo might know something. We should ask him. Where is he?
Well, you should be more careful of who you trust. That is true. I wouldn't trust any of the ragged homeless you have collected. No offense meant to those of you who are actually homeless, Dawnstar. If Sagacious Zoo has gone to warn the Lotus Assassins, you need to move quick. If he's just run off, he is no longer our concern.
Zoo would not turn on us.
The Lotus Assassin Fortress is in the far end of the necropolis. They shouldn't give you any trouble. Just appear confident as you enter. Everything is in place. I'll have my evidence against Death's Hand soon enough. Oh, and you'll have access to your Master Li as well.
I don't wish to delay collecting on the princess's generous offer, but please speak with me before you go to the necropolis. This troubles me.
Ah, excellent. I have many items just waiting for you.
I suppose it is good that the Lotus Assassin Executioner accepted you. I wish I felt better about that. Will you be heading to the Lotus Assassin Fortress soon? When you are through there, the princess will take us to the palace. You've appeased both of the Lotus Assassin recruiters. What else could we possibly need to do? We are much closer to finding our master, but the path you are forced to take worries me. And I don't think the princess shares my concern. We have faced these Lotus Assassins in small numbers before, but this is something different. I see the necessity of walking in their steps to fool them, but I am growing accustomed to you, and I don't want to see this change you. I have always respected your resolve, but there are dangers other than death. When you walk in the shadow of the enemy, you risk taking their shape. You fought through the arena with your honor intact, but the Lotus Assassins will press you to commit far more vicious acts. I don't want to win if it claims the good in you. What right do we have to harmony if we sacrifice what we believe to get it? I know you won't, but it still does my heart good to hear it. The more I know about you, the more I want you to stay as you are. It would be a shame for something to happen when we are becoming close. We will talk again. I know everything will work out just fine. All right, what did you want to ask? As much as I think it is foolishly dangerous, you need to go to the Lotus Assassin fortress and find the information the princess needs. After that, she will take us to the palace. We are so close to Master Li. Just a little longer, I hope. Don't go too far. I'd get lost in this city. I know it.
What do you want? Now you're one of them, aren't you? But not really, right? We have to find them so we can stop them. I know you can do it. All the people whisper in fear about them, but you stand up and fight back. But the princess said you'll have to get inside their fortress to find them. Is there anything else you want? Okay.
Yes? How can this humble bondmaster assist you today? No. That is a painful subject, one that brings back difficult memories, though not for the reasons you might think. For 4 long years, my bellicose beauty insisted we try, and try, and try again to have a child. It was a most distressing time. I was so afraid of her for the first year that I could not perform. Her screaming and chastising only made it worse. I overcame that problem, but there were others. My plump plum of a bride is a good deal larger than me. I could compare my nightly efforts akin to climbing a mountain if only it had been that easy. And there was always the fear that she would roll. I am a small man. My delicate frame was not meant for such pressures. I once lost all feeling below the waist, which perhaps was a mercy in itself. Of course, we overcame these obstacles and kept trying for 4 long years. Never, though no one can accuse me of not trying. Once she decided we would not be able to conceive a child, her interests declined, thankfully. If we had succeeded, I would not have survived to see a second. Stories, stories, stories. There are no more. If I tell you anything more, I will have no secrets left. A good bondmaster must always have a few secrets. I still can't believe it's that easy to become a Lotus Assassin. If I had known sooner, I would have joined their ranks as soon as possible. It would be brutal work, with little reward, and there's a good chance I'd die a hideous, painful death. But it couldn't all be better than married life, could it? As you say, I will be here scrubbing your pots until you call upon me again.
What? What do you want? I'm a fighter, not a damn history book. No more stories. You've got my fists and my axes. That's enough. Let's find someone to kill. What? This is going to be fun. Those Lotus Assassins won't know what hit them. This might just be the most exciting day of my life. You know, battles like this don't come along every day. We could very well die in there, cut up into small pieces, trying to fight off hundreds of enemies. I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it. Come on, let's go to the fortress and have some fun.
Always happy to help. I was thinking about a story my father once told me.
He was a scoundrel, but he could spin a fine yarn when he wasn't robbing caravans. Have you ever heard the tale of the Eternal Companions? The Eternal Companions were a group of warriors that traveled the ancient kingdoms, well before the formation of the Empire. They were said to be giants, to know styles no one could match, to always appear to offer their services to a kingdom when times were worst. The tales are too fantastic to be accurate. Though I'm sure the Black Whirlwinds tried at least once, no one can actually cleave a mountain in two. What made me bring this up was just a simple thought. Were these companions real people once? Were they just like us? Something tells me they were, but not in the way you'd expect. You know how legends tend to grow in the telling? I think they also absorb other tales as they go. I doubt it. For instance, we have yet to wipe out a rival kingdom. Failing that, I'm a bit shy of 12 feet tall. The point is that when things are wrong, people believe that someone will do something about it. Whether we succeed or not, we are those someones right now. More importantly, you're the someone. You're the real reason we're together. And I worry about how much of this rides on your shoulders. What I'm really trying to say is that we're all with you until this thing is finished. I just hope you can draw some strength from that. Anytime. I hate to wax morbid, but this is serious business. Now, shouldn't you be talking to Dawnstar instead of me? I've seen the way that girl looks at you, and she deserves a little attention. Always happy to help. You managed to satisfy the Lotus Assassins, and that's a major step forward. I just worry that it's a step over the edge of a precipice. Despite my misgivings, I can't help but smile at the thought that you're the reason they're so keen to acquire new recruits. Nothing like thinning the ranks to make some room. Of course.
Yes, what can I do for you? Those assassins will be tougher than Gao's men. Be careful. I need you to do more test flights with my marvelous dragonfly. If you like. Yes. No, I have not. I don't know. Certainly. What an amazing machine! Now, if we can find more configurations, just imagine what we could do here. Yes, amazing indeed. Of course, without more configurations, we'll never know just what it can really do. getting to be quite adept at manipulating this machine. If I were Lord Lao, I'd have made it a bit more obtuse, so people work harder for their supper. I'm beginning to think you have learned all of the secrets the furnace has to offer. What? Oh, I'm sure it's nothing.
Kane, are you all right?
Well, there's nothing like mortal danger to jog the memory. Anyone up for a flight to the edge of perception? The memories, they are seeping in. I see patterns, schematics, explosions, lots of explosions, and someone seeking rescue. Lord Lao. That's why the furnace is here, why the configurations are spread across the Empire. When it was safe for his tools to be used, it would be safe for him to return. Lord Lao is imprisoned, locked away so his inventions could no longer challenge the works of the heavens. It's an insult to the inventor spirit. We must fly. I don't know. Yes, and no. Who knows what such an assault can trigger? I suppose I should be dead, but it's not the first time. Perhaps I've grown resistant to such energetic assaults and surprised my assailant with my resilience. Whatever the case, I have a vision of a new wind map. It goes nowhere and everywhere. We have to destroy the force holding Lord Lao in check. Yes, that would be ideal. Although we will quickly move back into a place like this. This route, I don't think it can be represented on flat paper. We should go now. I do not think the furnace will function again until this is resolved. Yes, yes, what can I do for you? Busy, busy. No time for... I am ready when you are for this very serious endeavor. Imagine it. We are about to embark on an effort to rescue the greatest inventor the Jade Empire has known. As dated as some of his concepts are, I look forward to meeting him. Perhaps I can suggest some improvements. Prepare yourself. This route is much stranger than any I have seen before. Clearly, we are not bound for a terrestrial location. This is very strange. We're on the trail of something nasty. Lord Lao better appreciate this. I don't want a celestial wrench for my property. What manner of beast are we following? I'm a little worried.
Try again. Oh, this is very strange. We're on the trail of something nasty. Lord Lao never appreciate this. I want a celestial ready for my trouble. What manner of beast are we following? I'm a little worried. Well, I'm not sure where we crossed from the living world to the celestial, but we seem to have made it back in one piece, and with startling revelations, too. Yes, we need to discuss what was discovered. Yes, well, it seems the entity holding the memories of Lord Lao is vanquished. The great artificer was imprisoned for insulting heavenly works. Unjustly, I might add. He is free. He is somewhat disoriented by the process. Oh, and there is perhaps something else you should be aware of. Here's me.
Kane, what are you saying?
I suppose I should have been more concerned with having no memories before the last few decades, or century. Come to think of it, I guess I'm pretty old. There was always so much to do. It never seemed to matter where I was from. I'm not even sure what I did to earn this fate.
I must have stepped a little above myself and angered the celestial bureaucracy. In the time before their wrath filtered down, I built the furnace to point back to myself. I don't think I'll give them cause. I like it here. So many things to build for so many small problems. All the interesting big-scale things are already built. And I have an interest in seeing your endeavor through to the end. For curiosity, you understand. And I could possibly improve the yield of the furnace. I brought 2 unspoiled gems from our flight to rescue, me in the void. The eyes of the void. Or the glare of the jerk that locked me up or something. Very volatile fuel. With my new understanding of the furnace, you now have a configuration unrivaled. But there is risk. Combined with this fuel, it may damage the furnace. So, continue using the furnace as it is, or risk its functions on the most powerful effect it can produce. Well, if I built it, and I guess I did, I'd fix that restriction first. The rules of inspiration defy such logic. That is why a single flyer is greater than many, and duplicates devalue the whole. The furnace is what it is. I'll make something better, but adjusting this one will require monumental effort. It is not designed for adjustment. I passed along what knowledge I have. If those clues don't help, I don't know where you should turn. Certainly. It's just a flick of a switch, and I'm reasonably sure the trip isn't even doing any irreparable harm. A most intriguing place. Very well. In the meantime, I will try to see if I can learn anything more about this interesting machine. I can always bring us back here later. Yes, yes, what can I do for you? Busy, busy. No time for chatty, chatty. Yes, I'd like another look. I don't know why I thought Lord Lao was overrated. Clearly he, and by he I mean I, understands more than I, and by I mean me, could know. Or something to that effect. I have a bit of a headache. If you like, but those assassins will be tougher than Gao's men. Be careful. I need you to do more test flights with my marvelous dragonfly. Off you go. I'll start planning some redesigns for the dragonfly. Maybe floats made of air bladders.
Sheepskin, of course.
You must go to the Lotus Assassin fortress like we agreed. Find the evidence against Death's Hand, and I will help you rescue Master Li. The Lotus Assassin fortress is dangerous, but we have no other choice if we are to prove Death's Hand is a traitor. I chose you because I knew you could handle this. After you get what I need, I will take you to the palace.
This can't be happening. My business is finished. What? Oh, you. You're the one with the flyer, aren't you? Forgive my impertinence, but do you own that flyer, perhaps? I am Hingu, a mechanic and a businessman. I supply upgrades to people fortunate enough to have flyers. However, I have had some trouble attaining parts of late. My previous associate went on a trip to retrieve valuable parts and never returned. I need someone brave, someone who is a capable pilot. The missions I have are dangerous, but the rewards are worth it. I will pay you good silver, and I can sell you parts for your flyer, to make it better.
What? Make it better? This is the finest ship of its kind. I should know. I made it. You're just a fix-it man. What would you know about ships?
I have been working on flyers since they first started appearing in the Empire. I take these rickety contraptions and make them into something amazing.
Rickety? There has never been a flyer more solid than the marvelous dragonfly. Rickety? Your wits are the only thing rickety around here.
As you say, all the more reason to work with me. If your flyer is truly that good, you'll have no problems. Very few, at least. I have some supplies in the North Provinces that I need to pick up immediately. We've had trouble with bandits up there, so it might be tricky. If you could bring me those supplies, I'd have the parts necessary to upgrade your flyer. What do you say? Very good. Here's your wind map. It'll show you where to go. I'll also pay extra if you get rid of those bandits plaguing the area. You have returned, and in one piece, I see. Not bad. You brought back the supplies and you took out a few bandits on your way. You can have a little bit extra for that. There were some great flyer parts among those supplies. Would you like to have a look at them? Or if you prefer, I could tell you about another mission I have for you. Excellent. I am most pleased. The prefect of Shandang County will be glad to hear he has an escort. His ships have taken a heavy toll lately. There are many raiders between here and the prefect's home, and his ship is intended more for luxury and less for war. Get the prefect home safely, and I will reward you well. The prefect has also told me to offer you extra silver for destroying as many of the raiders as you can. The prefect is anxious to be going. Here's your wind map, and remember, protect the prefect's flyer at all costs. Excellent work. The prefect is happy to be home, safe, no doubt. I see you were able to dispatch a few of the raiders on your way. I'll top up your payment a little for that. Would you like to see some of my upgrades? Or could I interest you in doing another mission for me? I have received word that my associate is alive, if not well. He was shot down by Imperial flyers while retrieving some sensitive information. Fly to the destination on the wind map and destroy anyone who attacks you. Drop off these parts so my associate can repair his ship in return. The area you will be flying into is private land, and by right, only the Emperor's servants are allowed entrance. But there is a truth there that must be uncovered. Be careful. These Imperial flyers are extremely dangerous. Good luck. You've done it. Chang, my associate, is on his way back. Here, I owe you this and more. I regret I have no more missions for you, but I'm always here if you require upgrades for your flyer. Thank you again. Yes, of course. I have some very interesting items now.
Always a pleasure. What can I... A pleasure.
Yes? Certainly, certainly. Always willing to take the marvelous dragonfly for a jaunt. Don't let me get up. I just finished this thing. We can't take much more of this.
Be careful in the Lotus Assassin Fortress. They may not know you are an enemy, but they can still be dangerous.
That is not really necessary right now, although I do enjoy the attention. We've come so far together. Thank you for that. As much as I think it is foolishly dangerous, you need to go. After that, she will take a...
Always happy to help. You managed to satisfy the Lotus Assassins, and despite my... Of...
Minister Sheng's not here. He went back to the Imperial City to make his report.
Yes? Sergeant!
Woufna akna iri Yakoba kui ni rui kupar fita.
Please, Purveyor, don't send me in there. I'm scared those things will see me before I can get into the cave. Please, don't make me do it.
Warnur apayir. Warnur ni usota. Mo wogiri ika titarir koni of atarir.
No! I will go. Please don't hurt my brother. I'll get the artifact for him. I promise.
Si ir sukut af knewo kup kipstir sunu.
How can you speak to her like that? She's just a little girl.
What do you want? You're working for Purveyor Shuji, aren't you? Please don't tell him I haven't gone yet. I'm going now, even though it will probably get me killed. I'm sorry. I'm just a little upset. I'm Jinlin. Is there something you want? Thanks, but I need to find a way to kill spirits. Purveyor Shuji wants me to fetch an artifact from an emperor's tomb in the necropolis, but it's filled with ghosts. The Purveyors... He threatened to sell my mom to slave traders if I don't get this artifact. I don't know what to do. I can't fight ghosts. Sure. What do you want to know? My father worked for Purveyor Shuji until he died. He left last week to retrieve the same artifact for the Purveyor. The ghosts must have killed him. When my father disappeared, he had some of the Purveyor's equipment. Now Purveyor Shuji says we must repay him. My mother works for him, but I don't know where he's taken her, and I have to sneak around ghosts and other beasts to fetch the Purveyor's trinkets and baubles. I only know what Shuji told me, and that's not much. He called it a pestle and mortar. It's a bowl and a mixer, I think. He said it had something to do with a recipe. I don't know if you use it to make something, or if the recipe is in the bowl already. Anyway, the Purveyor is very interested in it. I've never seen him so anxious. Purveyor doesn't do that kind of work. He likes to get other people to do it for him. Besides, the tomb is locked from the inside, but there's a small opening. He says I'm small enough to fit through the crack in the wall. I don't mind that as much as the ghosts. The tomb is filled with them. Once I'm in, I'll just be killed. Really? It would be very dangerous, and I don't have anything to give you in return. Are you sure you want to do this? Thank you. You are very kind. My father would have liked you, I think. He was brave like you are. The tomb is over in the necropolis. The door is locked, but I can sneak inside and open it. I just have to be careful not to alert the ghosts. If you really think you can get rid of the ghosts, I'll head over to the tomb and wait for you there. Great! I'll wait by the steps of the Emperor's tomb. I'm sure you'll find it easily enough. See you soon, I hope.
Wo kauso ir noka wo taroe il shaxi iro finu pifu.
Hello there, and thanks again for all your help. Scholar Song Tao and I owe you a great debt of gratitude.
I hear you're the new arena champion. I'd like to think my buns gave you strength and helped you win, but I don't think you ever bought one, did you? Yes, more. Go then.
Don't mind.
Lost. Be about your.
You're welcome to visit the school and spar with us whenever you like. The students need someone like you to... Ah.
Out, out, out!
The dining hall is a mess, and I doubt you're here to help me clean.
I'm glad Master Smiling Hawk is gone. That man terrified me.
It is a shame that blood was shed, but the school is better off without Smiling Hawk.
I'm not really surprised that you defeated Smiling Hawk. Your skills are absolutely amazing. It would be an honor, though I doubt I'll offer as much of a challenge as Master Smiling Hawk. Very impressive. I can see the masters were right to let you train with us. Well, thank you for the fight.
When he grows up, my son wants to be the arena champion, just like you.
Shouldn't visiting ministers have more dignified accommodations?
Have you heard the news? Judge Fang is gone, and his replacement is none other than me! Minister Sheng finally gets his just reward. Or should I say, Judge Sheng? At last, my triumphant return to the Imperial City. So many things to prepare, so many things to do. Yes, Judge Sheng has earned it. After the suffering of my great exile, the Imperial City welcomes me back to its bosom. Please excuse me. Judge Sheng really doesn't have the time to chat. I must make preparations for my transfer back to the Imperial City.
I can't believe Sheng is head of the Ministry of Harmony. What's the world coming to? I can't believe
Please excuse me. Judge Sheng really doesn't have the time to chat. I must make preparations for my transfer back to the Imperial City.
I'm sorry, I can't speak with you now.
Good day again. You've done a great deal to aid me. If there's anything I can do for you, just let me know. I've got some interesting items if you'd like to see them.
A triumph all around. This outlander can...
Your defense of our way of life was met.
You came! Wait here. There's a small hole in the wall, just around the side. I'll sneak in and open the door from the inside. There! The ghosts are just beyond the door. They haven't noticed me yet. I was just thinking the same thing. I don't want to get any closer to those things. The artifact is supposed to be in the room at the end of the tomb. Once you're there, I'll catch up with you.
White demon! Return to the hill! Yeah!
More intruders. My tomb has lain sacrosanct for centuries, and now mortals tread on my very ashes. Your corpse will lie here with those of my subjects, and your spirit will feed my own.
I am healed.
That's it. I've got it. Now let's get out of here before... What's that? Did you hear that? Getting out of here is going to be harder than getting in, I think.
Your time has come.
We made it out of there alive. You're an amazing fighter. I wonder why Purveyor Shuji wants this bowl so badly. It looks so ordinary, except for maybe this writing. Doesn't make any sense. Conductor, cog, and a bit of iron. Don't play with the tiger. Whatever that means. Huh. Well, I'm glad it was useful to you. Thank you again for helping me. Purveyor Shuji is waiting, so I should be going. Goodbye.
I am healed.
So, this is it. Into the lair of the beast. You are certain this is the right course. I mean, I know it is, but there's so much risk. We haven't talked for some time, and this is potentially very dangerous. I needed to know... I mean, I just wanted to say that I hope you stay safe. I know you would, and there's nothing wrong with that, is there? Worry alone does not mean the worst will come to pass. It just means I care, which is more than I feel I have been allowed to show in a long time. You have shown me that, and I am grateful. Hopefully we'll have time to discuss it further. As soon as we get the information the princess wants, we can get to the palace and rescue Master Li. After that, perhaps we can go back to a simpler kind of life.